Hello, neighbors. It's time for our weekly check-ins, where we break down what's happening in our local market. This is Juliana Damqua with Century 21 XSELL Realty, your local real estate expert. Today, our topic is your rights to a home inspection. And I have Derek from Century 21 XSELL Realty, our top producer here, to join me in the discussions. Hello, Derek. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing okay too. All
Great.
right. So, as of October 15th, there was a new law
hmm
about home inspection. So, today we want to break it down for both buyers and sellers and our clients so they really know what their rights are with this new law.
Yeah.
Can you help me understand how this new law came about? What was the reason?
According to what we've been educated by now, is essentially it tracks back to during the COVID time when people were skipping a lot of inspections and buyers felt that they were not given a fair chance to properly assess a property before making a bid. So essentially, we are trying to restore confidence in the market by giving them that right to a home inspection. So that's a little bit of background to why this came into existence.
Okay. All right. So I guess one of the reasons why, too, from what I hear, is that primarily, like you said, people, because there was a lot of bidding wars, they were not able to get inspections done. And so nobody should be forced to give up between winning a home and knowing that the home is safe. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we're talking about this now.
Yeah.
From a seller's point, how do
Mhm.
you think this will affect a seller?
I think it's actually very good for sellers because you're essentially just allowing buyers the overall freedom and the confidence that, hey, the home that I'm trying to sell is a good home. You have the
Mhm.
right to inspect it. I'm giving you all the access that you can also use to inspect the house. So I think it's a good win and it's going to stop people who in the
Mhm.
past may be interested in a house would
Mhm.
waive it and then can walk away sometimes. I mean, if
Mhm.
you now have the right, then
Mhm.
you know full well that I can check the validity of the property before moving forward with it.
Right, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Anything you want to add on that too?
Yeah, I guess I think sellers cannot, it's now illegal that a seller or their agent to can tell someone that we will only accept offers if you waive an inspection. So now it's illegal
Yeah.
for that, for
Yeah.
someone to say that. And
Yeah.
when it comes to the buyer's side too, you cannot promise that their offer will be accepted only if they waive their inspection. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one good thing. So how does this benefit everybody? I think it benefits everyone, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have one side, who want to buy a house, another side that want to sell a house. So essentially, if you're having that right, you're both giving each other the confidence and freedom to move ahead. And like you said, because there's the legal aspect of it, parties like us, the real estate agents, the realtors, we have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure we educate our clients, both the buyers and the sellers, just so everyone's in the known about the process.
Right, right, right. So yeah, that's right. And yeah, the benefits, like you said, this levels the playing field for every buyer. So every buyer can, make an offer without feeling forced that they have to give up something to get their house accepted, their offer accepted.
Exactly,
Yeah,
which is great for the market and for all of us. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what does this mean really going forward? Is there anything that the paperwork that they have to fill out or sign, or why is it mandatory? What do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new paperwork that as listing agents we always have to have and attach to every listing that we post on MLS. And it essentially tells an agent, also their buyer, that hey, this seller is going to give your buyer the right to a home inspection, and it's fully signed on, giving them the full right. So they are pretty much saying that, hey, your right to a home inspection is here. This is me signing to give you that right too. And I think it's great because now you have full transparency in any way, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
something that is
Mm-hmm.
we in our office always attached to all our listings to make sure that our
Mm-hmm.
buyers are firmly represented in that way.
Yeah, yeah. That and the transparency is the question here. And that it's not only that, it's a really a legal requirement for
Yeah,
the paperwork to be done, filled out before by the listing agent and the seller before the house an offer is accepted, and so the consumer feels safe. So
yeah,
hopefully people are doing what they have to do, because if you don't fill out the paperwork, there's some legal, penalties to it. So,
yeah, yeah.
but the other thing is, do they
Mhm.
have to be forced to do the inspection?
No, they don't have to be forced to do the inspection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, you go ahead, make an offer on a property, and after the fact, you decide that actually I'm not going to do an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
You have the
Mm-hmm.
right, where the seller's, essentially commitment is to give you that right. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
choose to exercise it or not is completely your decision. So you don't
Okay.
have to, but the main thing is that the seller shouldn't be, or their agent shouldn't be in the known of that
Mm-hmm.
decision before an offer is accepted. So essentially, it shouldn't be a part of the decision making.
Right, right. So if after the offer, if I don't want to do inspection, then there's another form to be filled out.
Yes.
So you
So
can,
yes. So at that point, your agent, who would be your buyer's agent, would get a form that you would sign, which essentially you're saying that I'm waiving my right to an inspection. But it's only after the fact. And again, once it's formed, it's communicated to both parties. So everyone is aware that Mr. and Mrs. Buyer have decided to waive their right to an inspection
okay,
after the fact, that
after the fact.
the fact is their offer being accepted.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so the reason why we're doing this is we want our clients and our customers to actually understand this law. So when you are putting together an offer, or you're a seller looking to sell, at least you have the knowledge. So in
Yeah,
summary, what this means to a buyer is you no longer have to risk your life savings on a blind purchase, and you can be bullied into waiving your inspection just to get a house. And you still have the choice to skip the inspection, but only after the contract
correct. Yeah,
is signed. And that's
yeah.
for buyer. And for a seller, you are protected from future lawsuits,
Hmm.
because they are going to do an inspection on the property. And so you only get serious offers, because these people are really, they have a right to do an inspection, and they truly like your house. So it
Exactly. Yeah,
provides some kind of transparency and safety for everyone. So you
yeah,
must provide a signed disclosure form to every potential buyer, so they know that you're okay with them doing an inspection on your home, because buying a
yeah.
home is the biggest purchase, and nobody wants to go into it blindsided. So I think
Definitely
it's
not.
a good thing for both sides.
Yeah, yeah, 100%
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. And
Yeah.
also to add, the seller, is prohibited from actually accepting any offer if you tell them in advance that you're waiving the inspection. So both your agent and the seller's agent are essentially barred from using a waiver as a bargaining chip. So
Yeah.
to your point of transparency and having a fair point, at winning the house is essentially what we're trying to, the new law is trying to establish here, that everyone is a leveled playing field,
Mm-hmm.
an
Mm-hmm.
inspection not being a factor before the fact.
Right, right, right. Yeah, these are some questions that some of our clients are asking. Does this law mean I must get a home inspection? What's the straight one answer for?
So the straight one answer is no. And to
No.
expand on that,
So the straight one answer is no.
no.
You are not legally required to have a home inspection. Yep. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
if I'm going to expand on that is
Mhm.
no, you have not legally required to have a home inspection. You
Mhm.
still have the right to skip if you choose.
Okay.
But what the law is trying to ensure is that the choice to skip is yours alone.
Mhm.
And the seller can no longer force you to waive your inspection. I think that's the key thing that it wants to ensure that you're aware of, that it's going to be your choice whether
Mhm.
you want to do it or not after the
Oh,
fact.
all right. Second question. I want to win a bidding war. Can I still waive the inspection to make my offer stronger? What is the short answer to that?
Short answer again is a no.
No.
Not, it's a big
Uh-huh.
no,
Mm-hmm.
especially, well, not in your initial offer, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
And
All
to
right.
elaborate on that, is one of the biggest changes under the new laws. There, like I said earlier, the seller is prohibited from accepting an offer if you tell them in advance that you're waiving the inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I have another question. Can a seller still sell their home as is? What is the short answer to that?
Short answer is yes,
Okay.
and I can bring you in to elaborate on that one as well, please.
Okay. All right. So you're saying I should elaborate on that?
Yeah, or I can carry on as even
Okay, I
something
can
simple.
elaborate. A seller
Okay.
can still state that they will not make any repairs or give any credit. However, they must still allow you to perform an inspection for your own information.
Yeah,
You then have the right to decide whether you want to proceed with the purchase based on what the inspector finds.
yeah,
So the question is yes, but then it's up to
yeah,
you
yeah,
whether you want to do it or not. You
yeah.
do the inspection, you change your mind, or you get a house and you figure out what you want to do.
Exactly.
What the number 4 question? What is the new form I have to sign?
So there's a new form which is called a mandatory residential home inspection disclosure, and it's signed by both the seller and the buyer, and it's
Okay.
signed before or at the same time that you make an offer to purchase the property.
Okay.
And it's illegally essentially confirmed that the seller hasn't pressured you to waive your rights and
Okay.
that you understand that a right to a professional inspection is there for you to take.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I have 2 more questions from
Okay.
our people. No, a few more questions. They
Okay.
said, can a seller give me a very short window, like 24 hours to finish the inspection? Short answer.
No, big no.
It's still pressuring. If they give you that short 24 hours,
Exactly.
it's still
Yeah,
pressuring. Yeah.
it kind
Mhm.
of like defeats the whole, purpose of it.
Yeah.
The law actually prohibits any contract terms that makes the inspection, in a way
Yeah.
meaningless. 24 hours will make it meaningless. And essentially that would include setting an impossible short time frame, like 24 hours, for example, for
Mhm.
you to find a licensed inspector and getting a report back. So they have to give a reasonable time. And I think it's
Reasonable.
typical that we see 7 days, correct?
I mean, a reasonable time that nobody put a real time on it, but maybe 5, 7, 10 days should be a
Yeah,
reasonable time.
yeah,
That's my take on it, but
yeah.
somebody may have a different take. Okay, question number 6. Is there any homes that aren't covered by this law?
Yeah, there are a few exceptions. Number one are new constructions. If the home isn't finished yet and the buyer provides at least a 1-year warranty. So new construction is there, but there are some caveats to it that they have to take into consideration. Number two is family sales, sales between relatives, like parents, children, etc., or as part of a divorce. Those are exempt. And the third one is foreclosures and auctions. Certain forced sales have different rules. So again, when it comes to foreclosure and auctions, we have to read between the lines to know what fits and what doesn't.
Okay, okay, awesome. So what happens if the seller breaks this, seller or the agent breaks these laws? What
Oof,
happens?
definitely don't want to do that.
Just follow the law.
Yep, it's the law. So as always, the consequences are serious.
Mhm.
And for us as real estate agents and realtors, it's considered violation of Chapter 93A, which is the
Mhm.
Consumer Protection Act,
Mhm.
and that means you can get heavy fines or legal fees, lost to your professional license, a seller potentially being sued, which you don't want because that's representation of the house, which you would be involved to as a realtor. So
Right. Mhm.
that's what's
Okay.
at risk.
Okay. So my last question will be, can I still walk away if the inspection is bad?
Short answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can walk away as long as your contract includes an inspection contingency. So when you're buying a house, there's a few contingencies that your buyer's agent will discuss with you before you put your order through. So, sorry, your offer through. So if one of those is inspection contingency, then yes,
Okay.
you can
Yes.
still walk away.
Yeah, you can walk away because all inspections always, have a timeline where you can, um, after the inspection, you have 2 days to think about it. That's the contingency. Then you can walk away after that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, thank you for this discussion, Derek. My take has always been on home inspections that when you're buying a home, you need to know where you're buying because buying a home is a big undertaking, and you can get stuck with a lot of unexpected repairs. So you want to know what you're buying. So home
yeah,
inspection is really important. Not only knowing what you're buying, you also, if you've never bought a house before and you rent, you don't know how to run a house. So one
yeah,
of the things that a home inspector does is show you where things are and how to run a house. So it's
yeah,
a 101 education on owning a home. So
yeah,
inspection has always been something that I always encourage my buyers to do. So I'm happy for this law, and it's protecting a lot of consumers and sellers as well.
yeah.
What's your take on this? Mm-hmm.
It's a few things I would mention, for buyers, ask for the disclosures, with your agent, don't offer a waiver, please don't. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that you actually work with the home inspector during the inspection, just so you can learn the property, and know about your new home before you complete the
Mm-hmm.
purchase.
Okay. Thank you very much. As always, we at Century 21 XSELL Realty are here to help and educate our clients. If you
Yeah,
need to buy or sell, you know where we are. Thank you very much. Thank you, Derek. And we'll get back
thank
to
you.
you next week or to all our neighbors.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.